Hello.
Hello,
Nothing
Christopher. How are
abrasive
you?
about doing good. The YouTube algorithm really likes abrasive, just like wailing arm inflatable tube men. So,
Hello. Hello.
hello.
Hello. Welcome.
Yeah. So for those that are coming in now, Jan and I will have to time calibrate right at the beginning. But at least for me, and yeah, Jan, I don't know if you're at the same spot. They're
We don't need
basically
to.
in the Elland Road tunnel.
Yeah. We're good.
Yeah. But outside of that, and you
This
probably
is
for those
available
that
to
didn't.
view on. This is available to view live on Sky Sports in the UK and various. So you're watching it on a platform in whatchamacallit, Australia. That's
Called
where you are.
Yeah, that's where I live now. It's called Stan Sport over here. So,
Yeah.
do you want to go over the lineups quickly, just for guys? We didn't get to talk much to that.
I mean, do I want to? But
Probably
are we going
should.
to? Here we go. Yeah, we probably should. We're not, just to point out, I don't know if anyone who's primarily looking out for this, DCL and is not even on the bench, and Jack Harrison is
Yeah, I don't
on the
see either of
bench.
them. Do you? Oh, no, Harrison looks like he's on the bench.
Yes,
Unless
he's on
it's
the
a
bench.
different Harrison. Yeah.
No, it is Jack Harrison, number 20, on the bench. But
Yeah.
there we go. And who's that defender of theirs that's suspended? Can't remember. The Czech, Slovenian. That's terrible. Awful of me. Let me find out.
Forgetting where he's from or forgetting the player?
Jacobijo.
Jacobijo.
Slovenian. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, I did apologize in the last in the last show, trying to memorize all the different players, and then I was trying to look up on Leeds stuff, but then I unfortunately had adult things like getting distracted by gardening and pickup duty and everything there. So you end up doing other responsibilities instead of checking up on all the Leeds pre-matches throughout the off season. But they played, what was it, like Villarreal or someone like that, and AC Milan. They've scored a few goals, so it's not going to be just a walk in the park today by any means, I don't think, for us.
No, it's really not. I mean, we've had Leeds fans obviously comment, or maybe not Leeds fans. We have to be realistic about it, that when you think about it, we're still finding our feet. We're still talking about needing transfers, and we still don't know when that team sheet is issued. We still don't know, as Everton fans who do this religiously week after week, we still don't know what that even formation could be. It could be malleable. We're still discussing this a minute before kickoff, with the team sheet provided. Whereas Leeds are on the up, they're a promoted team. They're playing at home, and for decades, I know things have changed and that's been broken, but we do like a good statistic, at least the weirdos amongst us. Elland Road was a bogey ground for decades. You know.
Yeah, Robbie was talking about how he remembers losing 4-1, and it's like always stuck with him. They did.
I mean, whether you want to talk about Don Revie and
I was just going to say they were actually showing Charlie and Jack Harrison having a hug before kickoff there, which was kind of a nice touch, showing their relationship that was fostered.
Yeah, and I do think it's often curious. I was wondering whether did the question come up at all, whether it's going to work to Everton's benefit and Leeds' detriment, that if he comes on, he won't necessarily be a super sub because we'll know what he's like, or whether it will. Whether it's sort of, I mean, I don't want to call him the prodigal son returning home. He was loaned out for a reason, whether we know what that reason is or not. But the fact is, he was, he's back on sort of home turf emotionally as well and psychologically. So is that a benefit to them? Don't know.
Yeah.
But here we go.
Yeah, the screen sharing is a bit rough. I wanted it to try and perfectly fit, but it decides it wants to do a slightly different screen shape than what the presenting screen is. So it's a bit kind of janky. But
do you know
so
what? We don't own a TV. We don't own a TV production company. I think people may forgive us, but if you do want to donate several £1,000s, we would put the majority of it to very good use.
Yeah. It looks like they're doing a minute silence. Do you know what that's going to be for? Oh, it looks like there was a couple Leeds legends they have on the screen there. Oh, no, they're showing Diego Jota, I believe.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say. I believe it would be for that, but I'm just going to check. It is Diogo Jota and Andre Silva, and his his brother again.
Okay.
So
Yeah, it looks like the moment of or the minute of silence has been completed, and they're going to be getting pretty close to kickoff. Everton are going to be kicking from right to left on our screen, Leeds from left to right. I don't know what that means for the stadium, and once we do Bramley, Moore, Hill, Dickinson, trying to figure out what sides of the stadium to call it is going to be a whole thing. But for now, right to left for Everton, and Everton are going to have the ball for kickoff. Are you pretty close to kickoff on your side, Jan? Or are you further behind me?
oh, hang on. Sorry, I'm just forgive me. Right, you're just sorry.
Ryan, no. We're getting feedback. All right, the game's kicked off for Everton. They've gone back to Pickford, a long ball, won by Leeds. But Beto did well on the second tackle there, and Jai trying to get with it, but didn't hold on. They were coming through the middle, challenged by, it looks like, Eric Boonham, who's got James Garner battling with him, and Charlie, and he goes back to Garner. And now it looks like James Garner's going to be set up at left back based on the early setup here. And Dewsbury-Hall is occupying that number 10 role. Again, not a surprise, but just trying to get all the players and names on a small screen. Well, it looks like, Dewsbury-Hall in his number 22 and the long sleeves is going to be sitting right behind Beto. Bogle has it for a throw-in for Leeds, though, on the right back side. Looking for passing options and doesn't see one, so goes long through the middle. Pressured by Everton. Keane off the back of, who is their striker here? Maybe Perot, but did just enough to win the throw-in back, so Garner has it. Throws it back to Keane, and then we restart with Pickford. So I'm at 1 minute and 14 seconds, Jan. Are you pretty similar? Are you further behind me?
I will be eventually when I've turned over.
Yeah, all good. Once you get timed in, we'll synchronize.
Do apologize for that.
Yeah, so it looks like Shelley, it's going to be James Garner at left back so far, which is, yes, pretty wild. The head exploding. So Willie Nonto's taking on O'Brien on their left. Eric Boonham does well to help turn over the ball there, and gave it to O'Brien for a clearance. Nonto chased, and it went off his foot when he tried to block, and it's a throw in for Everton. So yeah, I think for the lineup today, Danny, is going to be a 4-2-3-1. We know we've got. Oh, sorry, I was looking at some of your messages, Jan. But a big crowd. Yeah, so to Emma's point, it's going to be James Garner at left back. Other than that, it's a relatively predictable side. Tim Eric Boonham is going to be helping in the middle, and we have Jake O'Brien at right back. I'm still not sure who's at right mid yet, but it's still pretty early. James Garner's doing well, though. He won the interception there. And he's going down the channel, challenged by Beto, did just enough to try and turn him, and the Leeds defender knocks it out for a throw-in. So right around the halfway line for Everton. So a relatively positive start, I think. And
it's interesting
as well.
It's interesting to comment on the fact that Everton have come out quite consistently now in all blue kits, and whether that's going to be an away thing or...
No, that should just be an alternate if the opposition are wearing blue white pants and white socks and a blue shirt. That's what it seems to be when I've watched it. So they don't want to have matching socks with the opposition. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Yeah, like some of the other blue sides, for example, if they wear white pants, it's kind of a color matchup problem.
Yeah, so no, I didn't know whether that might have been a conscious permanent thing because we had that under Moyes for a while, quite a few years back, especially when we played in Europe and in the cup and stuff. We wore all blue kits.
Oh, it's to simplify.
But you're right. So we're starting bright, and it's nice to see that we're not necessarily being pushed back and just going for the very simple play it square, find the space, build from square one. We're trying things like countering and quick movement.
Yeah, no, it's good. We're trying it generally still quite direct, but what it does seem to be actually doing is causing Leeds some problems there. Like it's the two players were with Beto and they did just enough to head it back to the keeper. So as long as we're mixing up the deliveries, I don't mind being direct from time to time.
Oh yeah, I mean, you don't want to just rely on, as you said before, the height, and you don't just want to think that all we're going to do is lump it forward and do the, is Beto going to replace? Ooh.
That was a really dangerous chance there. Willie Nonto does a direct ball through to Pirro, which cuts through O'Brien and Taki, it looked like. And so it went off Taki's foot. He kind of got spun and he flicked it. And unfortunately, wasn't able to knock it out. And Pirro intercepted and had a first-time strike, but Pickford did really well. Flash in the house. What is it with this, like the hamburgers and fries stuff?
Sorry, that's what I got distracted. I had an issue with my PC, and here we go.
Yeah.
I was going to get up all the comments. You do that. Keep doing the commentary, and I'll just get the comments out because we are joined by a lot of people who joined Robbie's. Yeah, that was it. Sorry about that.
Yeah, all good. Yeah, so they were showing the corner that led from the previous chance by Pirro. It was a short corner with a flick on, but Everton held on. Garner Gay has it out to Michael Keane on the left side, who's going to do a long ball down the channel, but he's not as left-footed as he is right-footed, and that ball went straight out of bounds. So Bogle had the opportunity there, but didn't do enough with it. Oh, sorry, we didn't do enough with it, so Bogle had it for the restart. They're playing through the back and switching from right to left, so it's now with Gudmundsson. Almost sound when I hear Gudmundsson, I think good morning, but I don't think that's really what it means. Rodon has it back to Strike, back to Gudmundsson.
It was
coming
a bit
through
of
the middle there. It looks through Ampadu, maybe.
Do you think that was a mistake before by? Oh.
There's a chance down here with James on the right side, but it can't get to it. Oh, no, that was Bogle. Yeah, it's tough enough knowing the Everton players on a small iPad. But, yeah. Okay, so you're about a minute behind, Jan. Do you want me to go back, or are you just happy to react to me? It's up to you.
I'm all right, mate.
Because I can pause and maybe just press the backwards thing like 5 times, and it might
just
get
wait
me
a
there.
second, mate. Sorry, I might have to go then. Sorry.
Oh, okay. One of the what do you call it? One of the insiders of the Follow Everton cast, Jazz saying hello. So Taki has it now coming out from the back. Trying to do a quick direct ball with 1-2 with Dewsbury-Hall. That works out. So Dewsbury-Hall to Garner Gay, though. Given to Charlie, who's dropping back to receive it. Goes back out to Taki.
So yes, it does look like a 4-4-2 with a very malleable midfield because we've seen Idrissa Gana Gueye slip in, and obviously James Garner. I don't think he's going to necessarily sit at fullback the entire time, is he?
James Garner at fullback. I mean, you'd imagine not, but it really just depends because if they're really pressing on us, I think we would have 4 at the back, especially with a pacey winger like James. But if we're in possession, I could see it more like a flat 3 at times. But yeah, Everton we're not pinned in by any means, but not exactly getting through the lines either. It's getting through the midfield pretty quick for both teams. I'm finding it's a pretty competitive spot. So again, Ryan's at the game today.
Oh, Alcaraz is seeming quite bright as well, which is positive because we were wondering whether he was going to be a bit lightweight as a youngster, and I think Flash asked before whether Asnu's on the bench or playing. No, he's not. On just to remind everyone on the bench, we've got two goalkeepers, Travers and Tyra, and it's McNeil, Barry, Chamiti, Grealish, Coleman, Armstrong, and Tyler Onyango.
Yep. That guy.
Which is, I mean, I'm not going to lie, their bench is more balanced than ours, I would say.
I mean, two goalkeepers is never really a balanced. So Everton got caught out there in the middle, trying to play direct. Michael Keane, though, did actually quite well blocking the shot from Pirro, but we got caught trying to build up through the middle and it was intercepted. So it's going to be a corner here just before the 10-minute mark, taken by Stash, who's going to be the right footer doing an out-swinging cross. Looks like it's going to be a short one with his one hand up, getting delivered. But one, it looks like by Beto first time, and Jai gets there off the second feed, or second ball. Knocks it back to James Garner, who's going to do a long ball clearance, but Everton didn't get out fast enough, so it's coming back in from Leeds. Michael Keane having a little awkward interaction with James Garner on who's going to pick up the ball there. That's the other problem when you have Michael Keane and James Garner trying to communicate on that side. You just don't know what's going to happen.
Do you think there's been a problem with communication in the Everton team historically over the last few years?
Well, when you think of Idrissa Gana Gay and what was it, Branthwaite last season?
We did really expose ourselves for that, just to get in the highlight of that opportunity where he gave it away before in the midfield. And you think that somebody in the show, was it the preview show you before, said we'll be surprised by Leeds' midfield work rate? Was that the comment?
I can't remember. That wouldn't shock me. There's a Robbie from Leeds that has been on the channel before as a guest, I think. And I think that was the Robbie that was messaging. It's actually quite an active Leeds following on of Follow Everton, I've noticed on comments and channel and forums, which has been interesting. And they think they seem relatively excited for their season.
I mean, absolutely, and it is nice to see that positivity from a promoted team, and not just the negativity that we're promoted to a division that's going to be tough to crack into. But yeah, Leeds do look sharp and organised. Right. They look like they and Daniel Farke is clearly. There was a sort of wheels falling off after Bielsa or with Bielsa. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean that. I think what was it, Jesse Marsh and that period, things they seem to lose their way a bit. I'm not sure it was just simply Jesse Marsh's fault. There could have been a lot of reasons, and I was just happy it wasn't Everton going down, honestly, on things to worry about. So just highlighting what's going on in the game at the moment. Willie Gnonto has been doing a really good job testing Everton's right side. So in this case, there was a little, I guess, passing triangle with Gnonto bypassing a Charlie Alcaraz, Eric Boonham, and Jake O'Brien right side. And it was a last-ditch effort to block the cross there. So it's going to be a corner, the third corner of the match for Leeds. They do a short corner, a little 1-2 coming into the box, but not cleared. And not passing the first man, and James Garner does enough. But Leeds are able to keep it in, and they're down the left-hand side with Stack. And looks like it may go out for another corner kick. So yeah, when you're talking about organized Leeds, yes, they are looking organized positionally, and what they're doing a lot is testing that left side primarily. Everton are playing a bit of a mid block, but they're waiting for Everton to just come up high enough to break through our organization. They're doing really effective quick triangles, lots of 1-2s, one-touch passing.
I was just going to say that we're not looking as. We're not looking as sharp, although yes, we're closing down. We're managing the game well, and responding, and we clearly have a game plan. Leeds look a lot sharper than we do.
Yeah, Leeds are looking good. I mean, credit to them. I think the Leeds fans have seen how they've played starting the season, and Everton, for the most part, are defending just enough. But Leeds are looking way more likely that there's one tiny error and this game opens up. It's so credit to Leeds on the way they're testing us. We're positionally in the right spot, but you can tell that we're just holding on with a lot of these plays. We're getting our foot in, but they're in challenging positions in the box here. So then taking on O'Brien, who does another block, so another corner. O'Brien looking quite dismayed about like not having the support, almost having his hands up, asking what's going on. So it's going to be another corner for Leeds.
4th, 5th.
I think it might be the 5th. I don't plead the 5th, but the Leeds fan Robbie saying don't be surprised they've strengthened well. Looks like it's going to be a in-swinging corner for Leeds off their right foot, and almost a free header there at the back post, but they were he had to reach over the one of the Everton defenders and couldn't get there. Another chance coming for Leeds, and a shot from outside the box, blocked by Michael Keane. A header. Taki does just enough. Oh, this is getting really dicey for us. Garner Gay trying to build up the back through Dewsbury-Hall, can't do enough. It was 4v2 there, and Leeds looking really inbound in for goal here. This is getting quite nervy at points. We've settled again, though. We've have them, or Everton now playing in the mid-block, and they're building up from their side of the halfway line. Yeah, your question on where Asnu is, we honestly don't know. We hadn't heard that he wasn't fit, and if he played against Rome, I'm surprised he isn't here today, especially with 2 keepers on the bench, with Harry Trier as well as I'm forgetting Bournemouth signing at the moment. But yeah, a little strange to me as well. Yeah, I think the problem, Flash, if we sit any higher, our fullbacks are getting exposed.
Yeah.
Because they're doing a really good job doing what Everton like to do under David Moyes, where they'll have a runner going at pace. And in this case, it's not just 2 players, it's actually 3 a lot of the time, and they're doing overloads into our channels. And you'll have someone sprinting past the fullback and catching out the likes of Jake O'Brien on pace, and it's happening a lot. So if we go any deeper, they're in on goal through these passing systems or triangles down the channel. So
yeah, that Tanaka's very industrious, isn't he? I mean, again, forgive me if this is, I don't know if this is inappropriate to say, but you always bloody find it. And especially since they had a good run at the World Cup, the Japanese team, Japanese players, they just bloody run the socks off.
Yep.
Mitoma. It's like,
yeah, so
look, credit where credit's due. It's just, yeah.
Yep. So 61% possession for Leeds at the moment. So Everton do have the ball, though. Charlie Alcaraz building up from the back. Everton are not committing any players forward, really. I mean, on this play, for example, they could have tried to catch Leeds out, but you saw Dewsbury-Hall, Beto, and I think Njai, and that's about it going up. So building up from the back. I think Everton are a little bit stunned, honestly. Dewsbury-Hall does a good job holding up and wins a free kick for Everton to get a breath of fresh air. Yeah. And I think there's an interesting kind of mixture in the comments. Flash from the Everton side saying, go up, be more direct, push them, press them higher. But I think Leeds are perfectly set up with the way Everton have deficiencies at fullback right now, that we should not play higher, but we also need a way to get into this game. This is a good example right now, though. Jake O'Brien went up and advanced. He looks already gasping for air. They're really testing it. But we had just then a long ball. First touch from, I think it was Njai, who came center, went over to O'Brien. He almost got there to basically do a cross in a quite advanced position. Well, you know what? I was actually about to bring up Mopé, but you know why? It was about the fact that if you part of the problem with having an all blue kit, Jan, is that it complicates the sock system. Remember when Mopé came on with blue socks when everyone else was wearing white socks?
I mean, you're allowed to swear, whether I could put it on the comments or not. Yes. We're talking about...
Pardon my French, Jan, is what you say.
This is rather frustrating because Leeds do seem to be a little bit more industrious and a little bit more put together, even when they're clearing the ball sideways or into the areas where you clear it away, hoof it diagonally over the other side of the pitch. They're just getting to it. We're not getting the first touches of the clever balls. And then, that spark that was like, oh, these were the good signs in the first few minutes has fizzled out a little bit.
Yep.
And it's almost as if we've shrunk under Leeds' attack because they've been very quick to capitalize. It's not their game plan has not necessarily been sit back and do X, Y, and Z. It's do X, Y, and Z, but if there's an opportunity, do this, and they have done it. And I mean, at the moment, that break on the left, that just to show that they actually, who was it who closed down Pickford? And you go Everton players, you just think they go, oh, well, we're not going to chase that. I don't want to be negative. I don't want to, but it's frustrating.
Yeah. So the real challenge today, and I'm just trying to keep an eye on the comments. Pause is probably getting to the point I was going to say. The problem is that there are square pegs and round holes. As soon as we get the ball, we're just humping it to Beto up front, and he's having to defend too. I've been impressed with how Leeds are doing, and they're tactically exposing a lot of our weaknesses right now. We don't have the pace at fullback. Players a little bit out of position. Taki is not incredibly fast. Keane is slower. Garner has pace, but he has to keep a line with everyone else and isn't as familiar with that position and teaming up with Keane on that left side. So there's a lot of uncertainty around it. But if we play high, we run the risk of being bypassed. They're doing it very effectively and have the pace to do it. So Everton having to play deeper, and where Everton like to advance the ball now, unless it's direct, is through the channels. And if you go through the channels, but we don't have the pace, we're going to be playing up. And if we give the ball away, it's almost game over with the way that these Leeds wingers are coming through the channels, especially Nonto at the moment. So we feel very pinned in because of that.
I think also that, look, you can't necessarily always put a finger on it, but it's there. And the fact is, Leeds, newly promoted team, home game, first of the season, and they'll be baying for blood because the scalp of Everton, the bitterness of the lawsuit, if there's not repercussions and the threat of charge. Come on, they want to do
trying to pluck Everton's players out, or trying to pluck Leeds' best players out. You want Arnonto, you want Harrison. Nah, mate, we want them. They're for us. Oh, jeez. A last-ditch clearance nearly off the line there, but it was offside, so we're okay.
Yes.
So
saved by a technicality.
Yeah, no, I mean, it wasn't saved by technicality. We did it on our own, but it was dicey if it wasn't. So Paul's saying, I don't get why we don't put McNeil at left back, Garner at right wing back, O'Brien at side with Taki. We could see something like that happen. I will say in the preseason matches, we've looked a lot weaker when we've played five at the back, and we're playing very deep and had trouble bringing it out from the back because of that. But I suppose the way that Everton are looking right now, that wouldn't change too much to what we're effectively doing. But maybe if we went five at the back, we would look weak in the midfield. But it wouldn't shock me that they come up with something different at halftime, but it's a bit too early to sub McNeil on to pull that card, I think.
So, I mean, we're doing the very measured thing, reasonable. We're not going for a reckless thing, which shows that we value the football here. We're still playing it out from the back, and even under pressure, but there's still some composure. You've got Tarkowski, who's clearly experienced, but as Paul said before, square pegs in round holes, and I do understand there's going to be an element of discomfort in playing a game of football where you might not have faith in new faces or unfamiliar faces in strange positions, and I get it. So we're trying to play it through the middle, I guess. Have you noticed that I think we are trying to play it when we play possession football through the middle to which
I think is the right point, because otherwise you're just testing the fullbacks too much when they're out of position. So I think that's the right way for Everton to do. So your job is to keep tabs of Nonto, because he's in again now behind O'Brien on that side, cutting back into the box. Duking 1-2, does a little back heel, but a little bit too heavy. To Jazz's point, I'm on 22 minutes and 56 seconds. Flash the original.
I'm about 15 seconds behind you, so that's why I've stayed quiet whenever you've been doing the commentary.
Okay, I'll do another
It's all right. Don't worry.
Yeah. I'm now at 23 minutes. How about that?
Oh,
So we're getting close.
yeah, I'm about 10 seconds behind. That's good enough. We're all good.
Yep. So it was seeing comments. Oh, yeah, that McNeil is the only left-footed player on the bench, so surely we'd have to have a go. And people asking about Njai. He is definitely getting involved. I think right now he was actually the outlet for that ball from Pickford. He received it first time, went back to James Garner, but then through the center it was shut down, so we had to do a bit of a switch of play. So he actually is presenting and actually receiving some long balls, and he's coming into the middle quite often to kind of help. So a lot of these players are actually quite dynamically shifting around. Dewsbury-Hall right now is actually sitting quite deep with Eric Burnham and letting Charlie play more advanced, but they seem to be swapping over, trying to find which man to pick up through the center. And depending on who's closer, they're coming in to help the fullbacks out. Tarkovsky to O'Brien. Stack comes in for the block, and they're showing the Leeds fans pretty chuffed and happy with how the game's looking, and I don't blame them. They should be really happy with the start here.
Yeah.
She's on the same pace as us slowpokes.
It's interesting to note as well that we don't have the same urgency that Leeds do, which suggests that, I'm not saying a complacency from us, but the fact that
here's
the game, but we're on.
A perfect example right there with that. Dewsbury-Hall gives up the foul, and he's trying to slow down the game, and Ampadu pushes him off the ball to get a quick free kick, and it's already passed out to Bogle. Yeah, so they're really trying to push it along, and Everton are trying to slow it down. And one of the hardest things when it comes to fitness is not having the ball for 60 minutes, because it's still 60% possession maybe I'm looking at the possession stat. 63% possession to Leeds, 37 for Everton. From an XG, they're at 0.32. We haven't even tried to shoot yet. We've had 5 total shots for Leeds with 1 big chance. I'm trying to think which one that would be, Jan. There's been maybe the box scrambles.
That
was the save from.
It could have been
the shot that Pickford saved.
Yeah.
When you're describing a big shot, pick the one that Pickford saved. It's like, of course. But there was that. The one that Tarky kind of deflected off his foot, and Pickford had to do a leg save. That was the one.
Yeah, that's exactly my point. If we don't have that pace, I mean, Illiman and Dye's got skill, and you can be lengthy, but without that bursting acceleration that maybe we might be missing from players like Asnu. Maybe it's the ingenuity of the balls from Jack Grealish to unleash. Maybe we're just missing those few key pieces to see these moments of intermittent possession turn into more beautiful football. I mean, the ball's floated in there to the left, and is it James who's on the right? Is it Jake O'Brien? Sorry, already shepherds it out, and so they know what they're doing. And it's only maybe the speed of Leeds. Now, of course, the football team's always going to come and play, and they're trying to play very well, and they're playing, at a decent standard of football. But do I feel that we're under the cosh here? No. But are Leeds the better team? Yes.
Yeah, in a way, okay. We're not fully under the cosh right now, but Leeds at a moment's notice have really put us, we're one slippery error away at almost any moment from we're down 1-0. That's the way this game is feeling. They haven't been in goal scoring opportunities a lot, but because Everton are able to get a foot in and block, but it's that last ditch, get your foot in, have a bit of a reach to make a block type of setup. So they're definitely testing us, but they have not taken advantage of their dominance. Let's put it that way.
No, which might suggest that if they feel the need to sign a striker, they did. I'm not imagining it. They did sign. DCL did sign with them, right?
Yep, he did. He's not
okay.
Well, probably a bit like Jack Grealish. He hasn't played with the squad enough to kind of justify a start and this kind of thing.
You say that, but my point being, they signed. there's several assumptions here, but you'd assume they'd sign him because they think it's worth signing a striker and they think he's going to score goals. And because you're saying they haven't capitalised on the opportunities they've had here, do you think DCL is really the person that will unlock that lock for them? You know?
Well, I think against if he was playing against Everton, no. But if Leeds are playing large body set pieces, yes, I think he'd be the one that could do that. Charlie Alcaraz was almost in on goal here, but a bit too heavy a touch.
And it fell back to, was it Idrissa Gana Gay's gone inside for Alcaraz, and he did chest it through into the box and came across, but he was just a bit closed down, shepherded out by the keeper and by the defender, and the keeper collected it. It was a good little bit of
Peter not appreciating the call by Kavanagh, a bit soft, but yeah. But that's the way Everton are going to come in here. Now that the Leeds are starting to slow down, and Everton are kind of getting into the game with mid-block and causing turnovers. But Leeds are still doing a very similar passing setup here and generally looking quite impressive. They've got Tanaka building through the middle and looked like a little bit of contact, maybe holding the shirt from Eric Burnham, and Tanaka went to ground. So it's going to be a free kick to Leeds from maybe 30 yards out, quite central.
Which is what?
He pulled his neck or pulled his hair or whatever.
Which is what Peter was referring to.
Oh, okay, he might be a little ahead of us.
I mean, it is one of those grey areas where you shouldn't do that, and I think it does rely on the player stopping.
Yeah. So, credit again to the defensive work from our left midfielder there, and Jai's winning a lot of individual battles there against what's this fella? What's his name again?
Tanaka.
Their right back?
Oh, Bogle.
Bogle, yeah. So he's doing a lot on that side and helping against. Is it Dan James? Not Reece James, of course. Sure. Their winger. So he's doing a lot on that side to help out Ghana, but I think that's unfortunately part of the problem that he has to play quite deep. So trying to take it on that side is pretty tough. All right, geez, it's coming back in. I read a stat maybe about 5 minutes ago on the screen that it's been maybe 10 touches now inside the opposition box. I think Everton have had one, which was right around that free kick moment, but it was Ghana Gay and Charlie Alcaraz. So we've only been really inside having one or so touches inside the box here after 30 minutes. Ghana Gay back to Tarkovsky. Does a through ball in the middle. Beto challenges, and Jai wins the second effort. He's coming through the middle here, getting taken on, and the tackle was successful. So back in Leeds' hands, and they're on the left-hand side with Willie Nonto, it looks like, building up. Everton trying to position themselves back here and behind the ball back into a mid-block, and the ball's right around that middle D, just to the left of center. They're going to start doing a bit of a switch of play here, going back to the keeper. And coming out now to Rodon, who's charging through, does a little one-touch pass and decides to go back to Tanaka, who's dropping deep to let Leeds fullbacks advance up. So they now have up on their left side through Gudmundsson. Gives it back to Stack.
We do allow ourselves to get stretched, and it shows a certain timidity. Like immediately when Leeds get the ball and they threaten to go forward, our defensive line goes back and exposes huge gaps in the midfield. And Leeds don't exploit that, but they could do. And then they play across the back, and then it creates the space for some of the forward line playing players to step back. And then they're not offside, and then they've got all this space to play in, and then the back players can move forward. It's frustrating.
So I think I'm seeing the comments that Danny, Peter Duggan, Mark Sperry are talking about. That looked very close to out of bounds on a bit of a pass back there. So Everton, unfortunate not to get the call, but surprised. It's more, isn't? I imagine that's more of a linesman call. They're showing a video replay of it, and yeah, that ball was definitely out.
Yeah, so is that not
I
VAR
guess.
or anything?
Well, that's the tricky part. If VAR got involved in every line call, would that just
Yes,
ruin
but
the game by slowing things
no,
down? But yes,
but if
it was
VAR can
clearly
get
out
in
and
for
clearly
clear and
a corner for a benefit of
obvious,
Everton.
yeah,
Yeah,
if it's a clear and obvious,
VAR should be able
look,
to
and I
catch
don't
that
want to
immediately
tempt
and just
fate,
shut it
but
down. What'll happen is it doesn't get called all season, and except the one time they tested against Everton, and then they don't like the call, and then they stop it again. Yeah, the linesman was out for a beer with Jack Harrison, I think. Hawken.
I was just expecting that cross ball to be met with a Leeds head and Elland Road to explode into rapturous.
It was heavy, a lunging ball with who was it? Probably James's right foot, and they couldn't get there. So it's a throw in for Everton. For those that are watching, we're at what 30. I'm at 33-57. I think some of you guys are a little bit further ahead, but that's okay. It's a challenge with multiple methods of watching the games internationally.
And we
James
do not want
Garner
to
looking pretty frustrated and bemused here.
Yes, we do not want to get in trouble for, undermining the monopoly that the broadcasting rights and the whole protracted footballing fixture schedule of the weekend is done for maximising TV ad revenue generation. Oh no!
Oh no!
36%.
It looks like an injury to one of the Leeds players, and they might knock it out here. But no, okay, not too bad for him. He was rolling around holding his knee, but I think he's getting up. Yep. So Ryan's point, I think, is certainly true here. That's depending on the game and the quality of winger, it's O'Brien can handle it or not. And this is one of these games that he's really been tested. But this is coming to you live from the away stand of Elland Road, I believe.
I mean, I wouldn't.
So the away end is
fancy going in the. I wouldn't fancy going as an away fan in the home end.
Unless you wore that really nice Everton white away top from last season, then you might blend in pretty well. Just cover your badge and just stack a Red Bull on your chest. They will never know.
That was a ball in by, was it Branthwaite? Sorry, who missed that?
James just missed it. So the header was just over the head of Stroke, and then of Stack, and then James came in back post, and Garner did just enough. So it's going to be another corner for Leeds, and a header knocked on by Stroik to the back post. So Brian does a clearance, but it's back with Tanaka now, who goes for another cross, but it was blocked by O'Brien. Look, outside of being bypassed by pace, he's actually holding his own in terms of blocking a lot of crosses. He's still battling quite well. It's just the problem of being bypassed by effective passing and the pace of their left side. So pure pace is a challenge for O'Brien, but I think he's still, with all things considered, holding his own and having some key interceptions and blocks of crosses and shots. So it could be worse, but yeah.
You say that, Chris, and let's be honest, with about 7 or whatever minutes left of regular time, the fact is that possession is, we've had a third of the possession, and we haven't threatened them. Like, I'm not asking for miracles, and I wasn't going to say that we're going to win. I was thinking I'd be happy with a draw because it's away from home. Leeds are on the up, and we do still need transfers and play and all things coming in. But to not even have threatened in any noticeable way is extremely, supremely disappointing.
Yeah. So Everton won a free kick here. A tackle on Adrissagana Gay. You can see Illiman and Jai was getting quite annoyed with the holding that wasn't given. and they're showing a highlight of a very crunching tackle from whoever. Oh, is it Admadou? No, number 4.
Yes.
They're crunching tackle on Dewsbury-Hall there. So they're quite physical. A lot of the calls aren't coming, but within reason. I don't mind some physicality in these matches. It gets a little frustrating when everything's a foul, and Leeds are playing it right on the edge there. Where, like, depending on the referee, if you're don't like Kavanagh and you're feeling that these are given away, yeah, maybe. But I think it's credit to Leeds that they have the energy, they're pressing and making Everton work for everything. And that's where 66% possession is coming from.
And Gavin's right here. Sorry, by the way, thanks, Dave, for agreeing with me. It is a very unbalanced team because you don't have defensive players that know exactly what they're doing in that position. I mean, we were even lamenting what kind of style of fullback Mykolenko is, and who we have at right back to really is Patterson is in yada yada yada. But it is rather telling that we get the ball and there's no clear intent. There's no give it to me and I'll run and I'll know that I'll draw a midfielder in to act as the pivot and then somebody in to come and do the overlap in the channel and then, or anything. It's frustrating.
There's some isolated, like, to do anything in this match, it's like a moment of brilliance just to get it out from the back, it feels. So you're seeing a few moments with Dewsbury-Hall's winning a free kick. Charlie's taking on a player and Jai's trying to do it. But I think he's taken on one player, not 2 or 3. And because of the unfortunate scenario of how effective Leeds are in their pace and energy, Everton can't afford to commit too many players forward. So they're left isolated. And that's part of the problem too. You just get more and more tired.
But also there's this, if you, it's wearing down a resilience. It's quite right. A couple of decisions that we haven't had, some fouls, some crunching tackles, and that ball going over, and it's suddenly like you do feel like the world is against you, especially if you go out feeling a little bit like underdogs because you know that you don't have the number 1 player in that position, whether it's the one who's owns it or deserves it for that week.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go to Robbie's point that he feels that Everton will will get the opportunities and set plays. I don't disagree, but you need to have the ball in advanced positions to do that. And Everton, so high level stats again, 65% possession to Leeds. Expected goals for them is at 0.7 now. They've had 11 shots, 1 on target, 1 big chance that we talked about. Everton, 0 shots, no big chances, nothing on target, no corners yet. Leeds have had 6.
We have had
Everton have it that at least in their half now. Dewsbury-Hall working with James Garner on the left side. A little switch of play to Michael Keane. So at least we have them penned in the box for the moment. Keane back to Garner Gay. So trying to build up from the back, but Leeds are doing a pretty good job of pushing Everton back. So Michael Keane on it again. And now back to Pickford. So this is also a problem. The rare moments that we do have an opportunity to try and break them down. Now it's too compact and Everton can't do it. Now that we get caught out trying to play through Charlie Alcaraz, and now it's back on Leeds' side. So we had them penned in. We couldn't break them down. We had to go into our half just to hope to stretch them out and got caught in pulling our players out of position with Leeds hoping to get more space, and we gave it away back to Leeds. Yeah, waiting for Jack Grealish to come on. I think he would actually do quite well in sort of a creative hold-up play, but if he's fully isolated, it's quite rather predictable. Yeah. How funny. I wouldn't even say it's funny. It's the most likely at the moment.
Yeah, it is the most likely. I mean, it wouldn't really take much because look, if there's 2 equally competing teams and it's end to end or there's a bit of a stalemate, you go, okay, it might take something special to break this. But I don't think it would take something special to score a goal against us. And that's rather
Yeah. Well, I will say they've only had one shot on target. That is a saving grace. But you know what? Come the second half, Everton are by the way this is set up, Everton will be the more tired squad. Nonto had a quite an exciting effort there from outside the box. He came in on his right, so was it? So he chooses to go on his right, then tucks back on his left. But his shot was not able to be on target. Basically, a high fizzing strike. It was pretty venomous, but over the box, over the keeper, over the bar, and Charlie Alcaraz was caught out to dry on his switch of play back to his natural left side.
And that is, we're pretty much we are approaching the end of regular time. The real world is in injury time. And I have to say that I'm trying to be positive. That's half a point in the bag.
Yeah, that can be true, but as we saw with Brighton at playing at home against Fulham, that was they gave away a goal last minute, didn't they?
Yeah, look, as long as the game is going on, there's always a chance to score, in theory, right? So with that in mind, there's a positive. I mean, you could always concede, but look, it's the premise for me. I would like to think that I know it will vary depending on illnesses, injuries, suspensions, general vibe of the team, and how you might think we're doing and all that. But the baseline is, for me, I want to get 3 points from about 14 or 15 teams, right? I want to get some home draws against the top 5 or 6 teams. And then I want to get draws away from home. That's it.
Yeah. So
and that's because that's aiming for 65, kind of 65, 70 points or something like that, which is aspirational. It's really high. And then, but then it's also like a marking down thing, because you can go, okay, in all seriousness, we want to aim for that. But the reality is we're not going to get home draws against all the top teams in the league, is it? So you kind of knock it off. But that's the kind of ballpark for me. That's the aspiration. You go into every game with aspirations, but a realistic aspiration of course, you could get a win, as we have done against Chelsea or City, Goodison or Bramley, but
Hilly Dickinson's,
right? But I don't know.
Yeah, no, but that's the thing. You're thinking back to the glory days. I mean, glory for us is 5th place.
A very relative term.
Yeah, but I mean, you can at least feel proud of the competitive nature of being at that place. Yeah, compared to where we are.
I would urge you to consider rephrasing it and moving away from a thing that might give a slightly different image from sort of European League pre-qualifying matches.
Staying away from European pre-qualifying matches.
I don't know. No, never mind. But yeah, okay, sorry. Let's get back on track. That was awful, wasn't it?
Yeah. And I think it's just not clicking, is what David B says. Gavin Cunningham saying we are playing too defensive and it's killing us. So if we hadn't said it already, it is half time. It is 0-0. And yeah, it hasn't been a good half for Everton. But at the same time, I think you have to say Leeds have done their part to make Everton, especially with our lack of starting players in their relative positions.
Lack of weaponry.
Yeah, lack of weaponry. And basically the players that we have available incapable of doing the job that you would expect to take on
playing football,
and not just playing football, because you know what? James Garner can play football. Jake O'Brien can play football. But the matchups, the lineups are a little bit tricky. and they're quite well battled in the midfield. Leeds they're winning the ball a lot. They're pinning us back, and you can go ahead if you want to. I was going to see if Adam wanted to join.
No, absolutely. If he's joining, if Adam's joining, absolutely. Blue Nose, it's very bold of you to assume I'm even going to get any Christmas presents. Yeah, absolutely, Harry. I think if you're watching and seriously considering, how are potentially these guys, Everton, going to fare if we're in the same sort of section of the table, that's where you aspire to, and we're being realistic, I don't know, then I have to say that this is not going to be a situation that I would be happy with persisting throughout the season, because we're going to need such signings. We're going to need to see forward progress from acquisitions being integrated into the team, because to me, it cannot be a permanent position to have Grealish on the bench and to not start Asnu and to have so many players out of position and to rely on that and to then not have the cover for it. It's all well and good saying, well, we've got these players back, but are we having faith in Mykolenko? Are we having faith in Patterson? You can see where I'm going with all this, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the other thing that is sticking out is Asnu wasn't even on the bench today. So was it a little niggling injury, not wanting to bring him, or was it protecting the guy that he's played games for Bayern Munich in their first team in competitive competitions, for what I remember. So he's generally been here before, but he wasn't in the squad. Maybe there's a reason. Maybe they did a good job hiding the leak from sources this time. On injuries.
There's criticism. I don't want to make, obviously it's not personal, but here we go. There's criticisms across the board here. Paws doesn't like Garner's performance. Admittedly, he's out of position playing at left back, a right-footed player that is not really designed to even play on the wing anyway. He's not that kind of player.
Yeah. For out of position, I don't think he's been doing terrible, but he's not. You definitely want Mykolenko in that position.
Flash, and I think Peter is really not liking Charlie Alcaraz today. Thinks he's overweight. I think it was Peter. Gavin seems to think Ariel Mangala was our best. Flash says we're dice-like. Fair. Don't know what's going on behind the scenes there. Hello, Lila.
I mean, there was a hernia, wasn't there, for Patterson? So if he's recovering from that,
it can be a very long-term thing,
too.
Yeah. Short answer, Tuesday. No. We are anti-football. You mean Everton, the coaches, or the fans, or what? Or just in here because we're not? I know. I agree.
Looks like we have another Australian. We have Aussie Adam and Aussie Chris with our matching Tim Cahill books. So Adam, what did you think?
Yeah. Hi, Adam.
Hello. What did I just watch?
Well, you tell us.
Can someone help me?
Football?
I don't know what that was. Yeah, we just can't get on the ball. Leeds look like a team in the Premier League that have actually been there for a while. Have been, that you can see that they like to get on the ball. They love to control possession. Every time they can pick a pass, they can get it through the midfield, and then from that midfield to the front three, they were also really good at and really effective. They were switching into different roles, different spaces, in behind us, in front of us, and then picking off all our players basically. It just looked like we had no grit, we had no hold, we had just a lack of, like you see, at one point when we did press, there was half the team pressing and half the team staying back. So you can't have that. It's either all or you press as a team, you come back as a team.
To me, it left me the impression that's a very eloquent and accurate way of phrasing what happened to us. But in another way, it's almost like we got our pants pulled down, and it wasn't even an intentional pantsing. It was more that Leeds just existed on the pitch, and we were embarrassed by existing in comparison alongside with how they played. Do you know what I'm trying to say there? It wasn't as if they really turned the screw.
No, they didn't, and that's what scares me. Is the fact that they didn't turn the screw, because they definitely could have, and if they had a couple of passes that went a little bit more effectively, we would have been absolutely pantsed. So,
sorry, hi Adam, lovely to have you on here.
Yeah.
One way to think about this too, if we're trying to make it positive, is if that's the best that Leeds can have, and we held on. And now all of a sudden, Moyes can restructure. Maybe you go to a back five. Maybe you come up with a different tactic because James Garner at left back didn't work. Maybe it's Dwight McNeil as the left wing back. Something a little different. Now's our chance to recharge.
To be fair,
yes,
I actually give James Garner credit for his play at left back. I actually think he did reasonably well, like considering he's not his favoured position, but I actually thought he did quite well against Stan James. He put in some really, really good tackles, good blocks. I actually thought he's actually quite good.
Yeah,
right. So
but I think that's part of the problem. It's here. Under the circumstances, a lot of under the circumstances. That's why we can't play as a unit, which is where you started, Adam. If we have a defense that's a little too uncertain and worried about the pace of the the wingers for Leeds, then you cannot go forward and have a bombing on O'Brien. You have to play a little bit reserved. And Wezzo was saying a cautious Dewsbury-Hall on the ball, where you can't play as a full unit. You don't play normally because you're kind of with one hand tied behind your back, because you know that at any moment you make a mistake, you play cagey because you don't want to give them the chance where they're pressing in one touch away from goal. And I think that's part of what we've been watching. They're nervous about giving away a goal because they know the one pass away, and so we can't bomb on, be too aggressive.
Isn't that the philosophy of football,
to get past us?
I don't know whether you guys have heard it, and maybe anyone in the comments has ever heard this expression though. And please let me know if you have or you've heard it. And my dad used to say it, and my granddad used to say it. In football, you're only 4 passes away from a goal. Have you have you heard that? And it's and while that might be true, and while I thought that the Leeds were on top and they were putting us under pressure, as Easy B pointed out, if the Leeds are going to turn the screw, that they didn't necessarily feel, they didn't have that that Liverpool or City or give you when they play and they really
I would definitely agree with you there, and they didn't have that killer shot or that killer pass to really open us up. It was just like constant pressure, and it was just like, okay, this is pressure, this is bad, but at the same time, Keane and Tarkowski still defended really well. Pickford hasn't really been tested, even though it feels like we've just had our pants pulled down, but at the same time, Pickford, it's still 0-0. Like we could come out and score the first goal, and then bang, it's a different ball game, and you just see how Leeds react to that then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean the point is, obviously Pickford came out a few times and claimed that's exactly, and he came out a few times and claimed it. And if we didn't have that though, or if only Leeds players would have been a bit more attacking to jump up and scrabble, and someone would have been at the back post to get the looping ball over, and we'd have been thoroughly pantsed.
It's also when Beto's getting the ball, he's obviously got his back to the goal, and he's also got no real support at all. Dewsbury-Hall is not closer to him. We're not, he's pretty much Dewsbury-Hall in himself, and then there's a huge gap in the midfield. So when that ball's coming off Beto, it's coming straight to a Leeds player. So they're like, yeah, sweet, thanks for that. We'll take that again.
Yeah. And Jai's
so they're almost using Beto as a Leeds player to get the ball back.
Because he's not getting the support, absolutely. And that's the whole thing of people are saying, if you're having those two centre-backs, the point is, when we had Carsley and Gravison and players like that, we had fullbacks that would push forward, we had centre-backs that would ball carry, and the fullback would be what the fullback and a centre-back, and they'd play dynamically to cover the run and the man and counter-attacks. And now we don't have whether it's the agility, whether it's the dynamism and the adaptability in the players, because that's what I'm saying.
We've got Jake O'Brien, essentially a centre back playing a right wing back position, and then we've got a James Garner playing a left back when he's more of a holding midfield playmaker. So I think we're just lacking position depth at the moment and position quality,
and also quality. Yes,
did mention that.
and play at bodies. And
the only player that I think has really got his bit in his teeth and is trying to give it a real crack in his tackles and stuff. He's actually winning us the ball back. Is Charlie Alcaraz. I've actually been pretty impressed. He's really putting in a few tackles, and he's trying to hold the ball. And obviously it doesn't work 100% of the time, but he is giving it a bit of a crack. And
yeah, it's interesting because I think
very rude of me. Sorry, are you happy if I leave? Because I just have to sort out some things for 5 or 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I should be back before the second.
And then come back in. Yeah. And I think for the point you're bringing up, Adam, is Charlie, and you'll see in the comments, a lot of people not happy with how he's doing, because if you think if Jake O'Brien's having trouble on that side, that basically he's getting isolated a lot, O'Brien. So part of it is not just simply a one-on-one between O'Brien and Nonto. It's the overloads on that side between Tim-Eric Burnham, Charlie Alcaraz, and O'Brien, competing with the likes of Nonto, Goodmundston, and Stash, and they're able to bypass our setup on that side. So how is Charlie doing in that respect? He's not able to consistently do enough to kind of help out on these overloads, or maybe not overload, but if it's 3v3, we're getting beat a lot on that side. But anytime when he's going forward, absolutely, you see it from him. And at times you're definitely saying, yes, I see him come in for a tackle, be competitive, but I think sometimes he just feels like bypassed and not able to help out his right back enough, especially as the right midfielder.
Yeah, well, that's obviously a different side of his game that I think he obviously lacks. But the only one occasion that we've really gone into the box and driven into the box is when did you see when Charlie's first touch wasn't so good when he came onto his chest, but he actually drove into the box and had a somewhat of a decent or like a half chance and stuff. And I think it was Rodon that defended it, but he's been the only real one that's been willing to get the ball and drive at Leeds.
So I'll tie it back into a couple points. We can't make 4 passes together. Generally true unless it's Tarkovsky and Michael Keane at the back, not useful. And the chance that we did have that you're just bringing up was Idrissa Gana Gay, who is a consistent performer for us, played high up the pitch at that moment, won an interception, and fed in Charlie for that opportunity. So we have to, but the problem is if we press high, which we haven't done consistently this match because we're kind of worried that we're going to give too high a line to for Leeds that we can't keep up with. So we have to drop back deeper. But if we do play high, then we can win the ball in these positions and do one or two passes, feed through the channel, a little first time strike on goal, and Charlie could have been in. And from their side, Leeds' first goal, their only chance today was actually that was on target, was a shanked deflection off Tarkovsky that led to them having a strike on goal. So that's the one benefit, and it looks like they're coming back on the pitch now. So probably about a minute before kicking off. I'm trying to see if if Everton have brought any players on. I suppose we'll find out real soon.
Yeah, I think it was who just said what they're going to do.
You're saying pause?
Oh, yeah, Rod Ross on Grealish on the left and Dye on the right, and
yeah, because Grealish would certainly, when you want creative hold-up play, he would certainly do that. And what it would do is give a moment of respite. The problem is, how do you get the ball to Jack Grealish in an effective way? If it's a long ball, the way we've been giving it to Beto, Jack Grealish is only human. And he needs to be able to give how do you give the ball to him in a way that he can actually hold up and look dangerous? If he can't pass off to anyone,
you can't just pass forward to one player and have no support and no movement. Right. So stagnant movement to one player, even if he is great and he's got his quality, stagnant movement and no movement at all is. I think you can see at one point Michael Keane having a crack at the midfielders, just saying that there's what are you guys doing? There's no movement in front of me. There's nothing. I can't pass anyone.
Yeah. So if you the game's about to kick back off.
Adam, I'm gonna bounce there.
If you want to go watch though, go for it. And
I'm going to watch it.
Yeah, and Jan will come join in a bit. But thanks for coming on for half time.
No, all good. Thanks, mate.
Yeah. All right, so Leeds have it, and we're kicking off on the second half here. No substitutions for Everton, so Leeds have it, doing a long ball down the channel to Pirot, who's battling with Tarkovsky, and Tarkovsky does well, and tries to knock it out of the stadium, out of Elland Road, just to give a nice clearance there. But I think he must have knocked it off Pirot as he cleared it, so it's a throw in for Everton. And it's going to be Jake O'Brien who has it. Looks pretty windy down there as well. Quite the flapping shirt of O'Brien anyway. Nonto got the flick on there. It's going to go little 1-2 with Stack trying to go to Gudmundsson. Little under hit, battled by Charlie pretty well there and well shielded to win a throw in. Trying to see if there's been any substitutions at halftime. It doesn't appear so. I'm using a combination of FOTMob and SofaScore for statistics today. So another throw in for Everton. They're trying to go direct to Dewsbury-Hall, bounces right over him. Bit of aerial ping pong, and now a little flick on from Njai goes to Dewsbury-Hall. A little counter-attacking opportunity here. Beto has it. Does he go first time? No. Goes for a little pass back here. Going to be an opportunity for James Garner to cross it. Doesn't take it. Instead goes back to Garner Gay, but he knocks it back to Garner again. Decides not to cross. Yeah, there was a couple opportunities right there, wasn't it, Jan? I'm not sure if you know you're muted.
Yes, thank you. Sorry about that. I was Excellent. Yes, I was watching it and listening to your commentary, and because you're a bit ahead of me, and I didn't want to interrupt and then catch the flow, because it looked for a moment there like we might have actually had a bit of a chance. Thanks for that, Dave. Sorry.
Is that a way to hold your tongue?
Yeah. I was also trying to eat a sandwich at halftime.
Oh yeah.
Didn't have much time, so I'm scoffing away my other half.
Taki and Nonto battle here. That's. I mean, Taki did well. He shielded and looked like he tried to give it to O'Brien, and then it was blocked. What's interesting, I saw Taki complaining there. I'm wondering if it was on Jake O'Brien, because he was very advanced and Nonto was notably ahead of him.
Yeah, it's wow. Where you're gonna play it, I think.
Well, from a throw-in perspective. Not sure I'm very happy with that. He went as far as he could, didn't hit a target. So we've had a lot of throw-in opportunities that we're just not taking advantage of. It was long and just back to the Leeds player from O'Brien there. So we need to come up with little, basically come short, do a 1-2, and then pass to the third player that's running.
The fundamentals of football that we seem to have failed to be doing.
It's happened. Yeah, those fundamentals are not fundamental right now.
They are fun.
Dewsbury-Hall working
mental.
Yeah.
Well, they are effing mental.
Mentally fundal. Yeah. So Eric Boonham teaming up with Charlie Alcaraz here. A bouncing ball overstepped by Gudmundsson, and Charlie does well. Takes on one player and then cuts back to O'Brien and restarting again. So this is exactly the problem. We had the opportunity to go forward, and we turn around and then play from the back and let Leeds set up. Granted, I don't know if they're comfortable enough to just take the risk there, but it's like, are we that nervous that we can't that we give away a goal by going forward, that we have to restructure our team and let Leeds come set up behind the ball? That we haven't.
Yeah, we don't seem to have a game plan. We're sitting back and just absorbing what Leeds do, and even Leeds don't seem. That's what I mean. We're at the mercy of the fact that Leeds haven't really turned the screw.
Yeah, but here's the thing: we've had a team talk, a tactic strategy
at halftime,
and we haven't done anything different. This is the time to see something different, and it hasn't happened.
It's a bit
well, that was the second strike on goal for the game. Was from Willie Nonto. It came through Tanaka, who found Nonto more centrally. Dewsbury-Hall was a little bit behind him and just chased him enough that he kind of bobbled it. was a poor shot.
Yeah.
I think he was getting chased and basically stumbled over it while running at full tilt. So, I mean, credit for the pressure, but I think, yeah, Gavin saying that Tim is not up to the task today. And I think that's part of the problem is, okay, let's go back to it. Charlie Alcaraz with no, Charlie's right on our in their box, has O'Brien as a passing option. He's almost coming up with opportunities, but it's just not working for him. Like he's trying to take on a couple players there. Dewsbury-Hall was in a more advanced position. And Jai desperate to leave. What, leave the pitch or leave Everton? I think that's a bit rough.
He's just joined. I really don't think that's the case.
No, they were talking about the whole he was going to fill in for some who was he linked with because of his agent? Into Milan with Adamola Lookman stuff, fill in and all this kind of junk.
Most of the refs are terrible for us and they hate us and they just want to punish us punitively. And they don't like the fact that we've survived everything.
I mean, I'm not sure they actually like Leeds either. I feel like we'd be in a similar category on other matches, you know?
Dear. What's that?
Is that a possession you found on the ground? Can we have one? So I'll see if I can pull up some stats for the second half anyway, instead of the... Oh, must be too early for statistics. It's saying that there's 100% ball possession, which isn't right. So that...
Well, no, it's our possession we have had the last prominent pieces of possession. I mean, although it might not now, we seem to on the BBC. If you look at the graph view, it's you know.
Yeah, FOTMob was just freaking out and it just said 100% to Leeds, so I don't think it's updated properly.
But I would like to point out that our XG, our shots and our shots on target and corners are all 0. Shots on target, off target attempts, one-on-one attempts are all 0. So it's really not our expected. It's appalling.
Yep. At least it's all divisible by 0. We haven't missed a shot yet.
Well, what if you're going to do some mathematical? Are you going to do some mathematical magic and say that we are somehow infinitely awesome?
Unfortunately, when you divide by 0, we're undefined, which is part of the problem we've got.
Do not talk to me about undefined errors. I've been doing a lot of coding over the last week. Thank you very much.
But Everton right now are undefined. How are we as a football club?
Exclamation mark! Exclamation mark! Context required.
I feel like that would be the video short of this. We are undefined, and you're like, oh god, stop it. So Taki going long to Beto. It was well weighted by Taki, leading to Njai
and the keeper
getting the
punches
spill off the keeper.
Njai does some skilly
He's taken
bits
on 3 players.
and did a good touch and threw it back. And Irabunum shoots. Gay shoots. And like a typical thing, it's like a barn owl in the countryside, avoiding those massive barn doors.
Yep, he leant back, got pressured, and it scuffed off his right side, and he didn't get behind it properly.
It got laid off with a little skilly 1-2 where he knocked the ball against himself. Illiman was surrounded by 3 Leeds players, laid it off to about 22 yards out or something, or 20 yards out, and he kind of should have wellied it, but he sort of went for a bit of a curling corner. I don't know, but it's more positive. We've got more possession, and the ball has come forward again.
We have an XG of non-zero.
There's
a lot of people excitement to get Grealish on. It looks like, and I don't blame him. At some point here, especially the way this game's been going. Oh, Nonto looked like he hit the back of the net for the moment, but it was the side netting, claiming it was a goal kick. Sorry, claiming a corner, but it was a goal kick. So, yeah, going back to the point with Jack Grealish coming on, or at some point you'd have to imagine, the Everton midfield are probably going to be pretty gassed because even in the second half, it's 62% possession leads. So having fresh legs is really important, which I expect to see something pretty soon, honestly. From I'm trying to think back to who's on our bench today. That's my point.
I don't want to tear him down entirely. This is exactly it. The number of times he might have 1 or 2 shots a game, and you just know it's not going to go anywhere near the goal, but you still want him to shoot in the hopes that it bloody might, because he's a professional footballer.
Yeah. Well, it's been a while, but there was a brief period where he scored some critical goals 2 seasons ago. He got the winner at Crystal Palace. He scored against Nottingham Forest and Brentford, when all of a sudden we had a really good streak under the previous managerial regime, and we stayed up comfortably that season, and it was a lot, and his goal contributions were key. Now, have we seen that last year? Not so much, and we're not seeing it today. But hey, you know what? At least he made an effort on goal. We haven't seen many strikes. I think that was the first attempted strike that I can think of.
And Ampadu, who admittedly has been a bit
knee injury,
has been pivotal to, I think, how Leeds have maintained that kind of pressure. Is a very, has been quite a promising player for a good couple of years, isn't he? Where was he at before? Was it Pallet? No, or has he come? Where was he?
I'll have a look quickly. He was somewhere. He was. So it looks like maybe Ethan Ampadu. And Ethan, while we're having an injury break, Tim Burnham came in with a pretty.
It was Chelsea. That was
a bit of a meaty challenge. Is it Chelsea? Was he?
Yeah.
I'm not sure I see him at Chelsea here. It looks like he's been playing. Oh, he was at Chelsea in 17 and 18. Then he
was one of those players that I think was like bought and loaned out and all the dodgy things of.
Yeah, he was looks like maybe Red Bulls Salzburg for a little bit. He was with Sheffield in the 2021 season. Looks like maybe the team of Venice in Serie A. And then I can't read another Serie A team in 22-23, and then moved over to play with, looks like full-time, getting 53 matches for Leeds last season and as their captain. But yeah, this doesn't look good, and they keep zooming in on Eric Burnham, but it didn't look like it was going, in my opinion, I don't think that was a red card offense by any means. It was a meaty challenge, and I think a yellow card makes sense, but they keep showing the camera on Eric Burnham. So I'm curious if the commentators that are providing the source for me to watch, if they're doing a VAR review for it, I don't know. But the way they just got nothing else to do other than zoom in on him being treated. I'm surprised they're not showing Jack Grealish.
We're at 58 minutes due to like not showing live stuff, and yeah. Well, look, I don't wish ill on any player. It's good and it's great. I just wish that sometimes, that they've started having refs mic'd up in various things, and you sometimes you don't even see the fact that the referee makes it about himself. Sometimes, at least Chris Kavanagh, right? Look, if he's going to be consistent, he might not like us or anything, but I don't like the referees who seem to impose their existence on the game and go, look, it's clearly about me. You're going to listen to my authority. If it's necessary, because players are doing that, but it becomes, anyway.
You don't want someone that says, respect my authority? Yeah, so Ampadu looks like he's going to be just on the sidelines for a little bit rather than being subbed off, when it looks like, so hope.
Oh yeah, they're going to leave him on the sidelines for 30 seconds to make sure he's not faking it with a like a concussion injury or something.
Yeah, well, I don't want ill will on him, but I would be very happy for him to be subbed off and then be perfectly fit on the 97th minute.
Because you know what would happen? Jack Harrison would come on. The Leeds would be, oh no, we're out of position, and then Harrison would score a screamer, go round 4 players, beat every man.
Okay, but you can always be pessimistic about that, sure, and
create the doomsday narrative. Cynical. I'm just being hilariously cynical. It's not pessimistic if that's Everton. That
ha ha ha. It's but that's a lot of clubs.
Oh really? It's not them across the park, though, is it?
Yeah.
Because the 4-2 result the other night did not reflect how they played in that game. I just have to say that.
Yeah.
Don't know who agrees and who watched it.
Well, I'm glad some people appreciate my And we are not watching student athletes.
Yeah, I mean,
we are watching professionals here.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
But
am I a
yeah, the
goddamn
game
hippie?
has slowed down a little bit. But
Irigbunam's
Eric
taking it
Boonham's
on the
taking on, taking up on the left. Yeah, we're getting pretty
against
close on
Bogle, and he's done well, and he's cut inside the box, but he overran it and just didn't keep close enough control.
Yep, and cleared by maybe Rodon or Ampadu. But at least Everton have possession here in their half, which is positive. James Garner on it. Taki telling him to move forward, so he does. Illiman and Jai has 2 players in front of him, so
but he
looks like he
dinked
should.
it in.
And it looked like it hit the guy's arm, and there was no call, which was a little strange. But James Garner winning the second effort there goes into Eric Boonham, who's good.
I think
he got fouled, no call. Switching play. Tarkovsky's now coming through the middle. Has O'Brien as an option, uses him. He goes wide in his right, tries to take on Nonto, cuts back to his left, and Nonto knocked it out. So something positive there. And then Jake O'Brien's holding his beach ball and drying it for a long throw in. They're zooming in on Jack Grealish and Armstrong warming up, so something positive. Looks like a throw in here. Look, Everton fans right behind O'Brien singing. A long throw in on its way. A header cleared. Eric Boonham wins the header. Garner Gay
on the halfway line, and I'll pick it up at the back where Garner backs it back to Pickford, who's just come out onto the edge of his D outside the penalty area. He's looking for someone. There's no one really making themselves available. Tarkovsky's on the right, but he's lumped it forward to Alcaraz has tried to challenge, and Leeds have got the ball back. It's open, it's intercepted. O'Brien's picked it up, and he's gone inside to Alcaraz, who turns quite nicely. Ball back to Beto, 1-2. Alcaraz has picked it up, and he's bundled off and fouled. And it's a free kick about 25 yards out in central, and a yellow card. Oh, a yellow card for Alcaraz for asking for the yellow card. That's really punitive. The fact that you're going to punish a player more than for demanding the yellow card more than the infraction is the kind of ridiculous behavior from the referee that shows you're not respecting my authority.
Yeah, I'm not. So,
but he's right, because if Alcaraz is right, it's a cynical yellow from behind, 25 yards out. He's right. Okay, the dissent might deserve a yellow card, but that does not invalidate the right for a yellow card on the Leeds player.
Well, I will say, from a level of dissent, that was minuscule. He looked up, did a little bit of this, and said, maybe. And look, I don't like people demanding yellows. It is the referee's call, but that should have probably been a yellow card. Charlie shouldn't have had to do anything, and it should be a different situation.
But what I'm saying is the dissent does not invalidate the failure, or should not result in the failure to apply the correct ruling or a judgment, which was a cynical foul in a forward attacking thing on the edge of the box.
Yeah, but Paws is right. This is the reality of where we're at. We can't demand, and that is something about like if you watch rugby and other sports at all, basically pressuring the referee with a squad of people yelling at them. It's not reasonable. It's not a good look. It basically means that the players run the show, and it already feels that way when it comes to agents, waiters, what have you. But hey, a corner kick.
Which
coming to the
gets
back
Leeds
post.
head on. It goes back to Idrissa Garner Gay. Goes back to, oh God, who's 22? Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall, left into the edge of the box, turns, nobody's there.
Keane,
on the edge of the box.
Yeah. Keane was about to take a strike there, but he couldn't get his second touch in order.
And Illiman and Dye got bundled from behind as the ball comes onto him, and the ref offers him no protection. And he's doing well to jink around 3 or 4 players. And again, maybe not a foul, but there was no support from there, and he just out-muscled. But equally, the ref doesn't seem to be, and the ball's been cleared out on the other side of the pitch. And Illiman Dye is looking rather confused at the referee because he's had no protection. He was pushed off the ball as he was controlling it from behind, with no attempt by the Leeds player Bogle to play it. Yeah,
frustrating. Taki has it. The switch of play. Michael Keane now with it, back to Tarkovsky. A ball through the middle to Charlie Alcaraz. Second time touch to O'Brien, who does a first time cross, but a little bit too soft and high and picked up by the keeper. So it's back in Leeds' hands there. They went quick and direct through the keeper, but Michael Keane had a really good first touch there. So we always worry about Michael Keane. I think credit where credit's due. He has not been a weakness today.
The liability that people often just assume that that's all he is.
Yeah. So today, so far, he has not been that. That was actually
you know
an excellent first touch. I was very impressed.
Do you know what? Do you know what nobody said? The ball's gone back left to Irabunum, who's doing a 1-2 with, is it Garner? I can't tell who's on the left. Jake O'Brien, Garner. It's gone inside.
That's James
to
Garner.
Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall, who's taken it back about 10 yards and played it back out wide to Garner again, who's looking for a free man. It's gone back to Irabunum, who's about 5 yards from the touchline. It's gone back wide forward about on the on the channel back to Irabunum. About 40 yards, lumped it over diagonal ball, and it's gone out.
Oh, that's a Ghana gay now, and that was a gay strike. And he goes, "Sorry, lads, I just ruined the whole build-up." And it looks like some substitutions. It looks like
Jack
Aronson,
Bamford,
potentially.
I believe. Oh, is it not?
Number 11?
No, not.
Isn't that Brian Aronson, the American guy?
Sorry, you're
coming on for Nonto,
forgive me.
which is a respite for Jakey O'Brien.
Yes, it is Aronson. And
Brendan Aronson. Yep. Well, I mean, if we can have Garners and Onanas, they can have Aronsons and Harrisons, right?
I'm getting really mixed up with names here. Yeah.
So this might be the moment for Grealish to come on. I see him putting on the number 18. So Jack the lad.
He's stealing my haircut.
Yep. Well, he has to spray it orange just for you.
It does beg the question sometimes when we try and see a type of football these days that prides athleticism over necessary footballing skill as the foundation, why we don't play a wing back or a young quick player at fullback and have a more dynamic, overlappy, quick cover the man and then rely on the experience from the inside. It does, because then you have more at least a more balanced team. If you're lacking in quality in some areas, there's more to a player's game than just their experience. It's how naturally suited they are to that position. And what better way to give some youngsters a chance? It just shows no faith in them. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and it may well be a scenario where right now, even if we're saying certain players are being poor today, there's still a cohesiveness and accountability of tracking back that you expect from the first team players that have been there for a bit. And if you need that to hold on, maybe that's part of what we're seeing. But I think we need to see a couple players come off. I think Charlie is looking pretty gas, and it wouldn't shock me if he's basically going to give away a cheap yellow card here just for something really, what do you call it? Not primitive, but like really pesky, and just gives away another yellow and he's off. And you go, where did that come from? So I'm a little worried for him. I would say other than that, maybe Tim Irabunum could come off. I think that wouldn't be a bad move and drop Dewsbury-Hall a bit deeper. But he's on the ball at the moment, did a nice pirouette, and then he went to Njai but didn't get there. Looking at possession, Everton in this second half have 56% now, compared to Leeds' 44%. So there's something positive at least on it, that Everton at times are not just playing deep and getting wiped out. I think maybe it was a matter of, and I don't know if when you've played football again, like I struggled with the pure pace as well. They would throw me at fullback and I'm like, don't have the legs for it. But the first 10 minutes, that was always the worry for me, because they would always sprint on. And then after a while, they didn't have the same legs in those positions. So I think the wingers of Leeds don't have the same impact as they did early.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, honestly, the older you can talk about being in the peak physical fitness in your early, mid, late 20s, absolutely. But it's very, very, you don't have the 90 minutes endurance to run and run and run that you do when you're a teenager and you're in no matter what anybody says, You really, really, really don't. You can absolutely, but that unrestrained just the ability to run and recuperate so quickly.
Yeah, Ashley Young is a perfect example of it. He's found a way to stick around for this long. So, by the way, Tim Eric-Brunham coming off for Jack Grealish. So my prediction of Eric Brunham coming off, I think, is come to fruition. I'd imagine you'll see Dewsbury-Hall dropping deep then to join Garner Gay. So the real question is Jack the lad your favorite, Jazz, or do you have a favorite player? And it can't be Ryan because he doesn't play for Everton. Anyway,
are you saying that Ryan plays for the other team, Chris?
Well, just because Kavanagh knows him doesn't make he plays for the ref. Oh. So yeah, to that point, so Jazz says Jack's been her favorite player in the league for 3 years.
A player is no longer my favorite if they don't wear this Everton shirt. Absolutely not. They don't exist. Goodbye.
Well, you know what? If it's about his calves, I mean, they do look good from a distance.
Right. Okay. So Jake O'Brien's got a throw in on Everton's right attacking forward, and well, Moyes is looking like he might be considering making more changes. What do you think? Do you think we should go for more? Yes.
If we look back at who we have on our bench today, I'll quickly bring that back up. So we've got hide us. Yeah, so we've got Trier and Travers, so keepers. So we've got Barry, Schmidt, McNeil, Coleman, Armstrong, and Yango.
So Tierno Barry on for Beto then.
Yeah, I think
and Schmidt on for Alcaraz. I'd like to see.
No, I would rather Harris than Armstrong in that position.
Okay.
Because I don't think Schmidt's done enough in the wing position to justify it when he has come on. He's looked at a position. At least for me, I feel like that's what I've seen when he's on. Okay. I think it's a striker, yes, but not as a winger.
I just would have thought we could have. I could have thought we could have had Schmidt in the sort of the number 10 instead of. But I don't know. Alcaraz has dropped deep. I don't know what's going on with Everton. Maybe they just respond. I don't care if they're playing football better. That's fine.
Well,
we seem to be.
I'm sitting here trying to figure this out too, because it looks like maybe Jack's on the right, and that's where we haven't seen anyone come on, or haven't seen him yet because he's off camera.
And the ball, Everton have retained possession. Obviously, Leeds are chasing it down now. Tarkowski's played it back to Pickford and closed it down. It's gone out right to Jake O'Brien, who's headed it back, but it's gone out for a Leeds throw in on our right.
Where is Grealish? Wing. I'm not sure. Okay, Grealish is on the left wing, and Jai's moved to the right. That's what it is. So it's
Daniel Farr looks like he's about to make a substitution, by the way.
Yeah, I think it's more of a 4-3-2-1 now without a number 10 at the moment.
So, and Jai did great holding up there, and Chris Kenny got almost what looked like pulled down, and he didn't get anything off the referee. And then Alcaraz, for a little bit of a niggly foot in there, got a telling off by the referee. So the lack of consistency is a little bit grating there.
You'd say if you in American sports, he got body checked.
Yeah.
Oh, Tarkovsky clears it right into the nose of Tanaka. It looked like that looked painful.
Everton looking to sort of reset. Pickford's thrown the ball down, but he's thrown it forward. Looks like Jack Harrison might be coming on for Leeds.
Yep.
The ball's gone back. Leeds have it around about the halfway line, but it's been flicked on a little bit too far. And Jack Garner's picked it up, played it inside to Alcaraz, played it back to Tarkowski, who's probably going to play it out right to. Yes, he has. Right wide, Jake O'Brien, who's looking for a player in the channel, but he's played it forward and got body checked. And he's actually the linesman has, which you don't often see here. The linesman has indicated a foul because the referee just waved his arm for a throw in, but the linesman indicated that there was a foul because he was fouled.
Oh, sorry, my green screen doesn't show my arm, but it was Aronson looked bemused, going, "We're at home. We don't get free kicks against us." Robbie is saying, "Would you swap Beto for Barry?" I think you would. It's been a tough match for Beto. You can't really blame him. So it's going to be Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall on, I guess, Everton's right wing for this free kick. So he'll be in swing. It'll be an in-swinging free kick. Everton is set up just inside the 18-yard box, looks like, for their line. So it comes in here, but too short, way too short. Kiernan has been learning too much from James Garner on how to do a delivery.
And he's going up against Aronson, and he's turned rather nicely, double back into
this is excellent now. Here's a chance.
Oh, and it's a corner. Alcaraz got the ball back, and he got it about 8 yards out diagonally and did a sort of wiggle, found a yard and got a shot off. So Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall hold the ball well up against Aronson, cut inside to the box, drew 2 Leeds players, and then cut back the ball to Alcaraz, who ran forward quite wide until he was sort of 6 yards out to the right of the goal and hit the ball. And Christ, who's their keeper? Went saved down low,
Perry
outside for a corner. Everton have a corner.
He's
now.
not
Perry,
Meslier. Yeah. Meslier would let that in. So that was Everton's best play of the game, right there.
Well,
you don't agree? And
the
following corner was a missed opportunity from Jake O'Brien from a Dewsbury-Hall corner. Well delivered. O'Brien beat Goodmanson, but it was a little bit behind
down
him.
With both hands on his shirt by the Leeds number 3.
We don't talk about such things. It's a Leeds match.
Sorry, Leeds versus the other team. Yeah, I know. Sorry.
Yeah. So there's going to be 3 substitutions. Jack Harrison being one of them. Number 10 for them is coming off, which is Perot. So probably a new striker. So it'll be Perot coming off. Let's see who else. For Lucas Nemeka. And number 14 for them is coming on. I think
is the pronunciation. It's some sort. Forgive me. I'm going to. Yeah.
A silent N, I'd imagine.
I.
And also James and Ampadu coming off.
Yes. So it's looking like they're going to have a fresh injection of legs in rather important places that have already put us under the cosh in the first half. We've gone for some attacking options. We've brightened ourselves up, but you just have to hope that this is not going to be met by a capitulation from us. I don't want to be negative. I'm just stating. Never mind. I'll shut up.
You know, when you see, so I saw gas pipe here going, someone smash into Harrison. For a second, I thought you said smash the like button. And I was like, no. No,
I know. Everyone's turning into Ryan.
Yeah. Well, I do like this little icon. I just found it. Do you see this one, Jan? The little like and subscribe?
Ooh, that's funky. You know what, though? If Ryan is there, I should imagine that him and a lot of Evertonians, admittedly, you can't do anything about the first half. It was piss poor. But if you're going to have that kind of half performance in a half of football, it's much better to have it in the first half. Even if Leeds, because you'd still say that if Leeds got a 1-0 here, they would probably, you'd argue that, okay, right, fine, we weren't good enough. And that first half was rather telling, and that's what sort of edged it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, you'd rather finish strong.
Speaking of
than
Leeds,
hold on for dear
a
life.
bit of pressure.
Yeah, they are. But again, they're not breaking the lines at the moment. Elland and Jai doing a good job tracking back for Goodmunson, who does his best to keep that in. And Jake O'Brien gets his foot in, as does Dewsbury-Hall. The preceding chance, though, so it's basically bouncing around the box, and Kamada doesn't.
It loops in from the left-hand side centrally for Tanaka, who on the edge of the box volleys it, but it goes over, yeah.
Yeah, so Tanaka had his chance.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was going, and to be honest, Grealish did enough, and Taki did enough there to shut down Tanaka from not letting it drop lower and have a better strike. He had to jump up in the air to try and knock it down to get his shot off, and that helped. But yeah, at least we have 4 attempts on goal now and 1 on target. Beto did some really good hold-up play there and gave it to Charlie Alcaraz, who's playing much deeper. Dewsbury-Hall presenting for Taki, doesn't use him, finds O'Brien instead, who now finds Dewsbury-Hall, who gets bundled over. And no foul given.
And no foul for a hold on Idrissa Gana-Gueye when the ball's passed back to him again. And the ball
so
goes
I will
out
say
to
this. I think Dewsbury-Hall has really grown into this game in the last 10 minutes.
And the ball goes out left, and they Everton are doing.
I was thinking Charlie was going to shoot there, but doesn't take the chance on, so it's back to Taki. Dewsbury-Hall now on the right side finds O'Brien. And Jai presents short. He takes him on. Takes on Gudmundsson. Oh, where's that? No foul? Again? He took on 2, gets knocked over, and there's just no foul. Like, this... I'm not sure... I'm not sure if... I think he was outside the box. It was not going to be a penalty, but that looked very obvious. And then Charlie fell over at the wrong moment here. Number 14 with a chance to strike, but blocked by Taki. Well done there. Coming on for number 20 on the outside of the box. Oh, that's Harrison with a crossing opportunity. And then Taki blocks, and they're claiming for a penalty. And now they might be doing a VAR check. Oh, come on. You seen this too, Jan? No, that's a terrible decision.
Here.
His arm was tucked under him. You know, when the player is making every concerted effort to get his arm behind the ball, it's an extension of his body, and he's pulling away, and they call it. Terrible decision by the referee.
It's nonsense.
Because his hand was comfortably behind his back, so his arm is as... That is a mistake.
Everton are so lucky getting away with that is going to be the narrative.
To me, that is exactly the purpose of umpire discretion, to not say that's a handball. He didn't. It was part of his body, tucked behind his back, and now they're checking.
I will
for
say
handball.
here, it is strongly
the VAR
my belief
may overrule this. Honestly, I think they may overrule it, and they're doing the check.
No, they're
now.
not. They're
They
saying
really
it's
should...
been given, but look, they're saying it's given it.
No, they're not. They have VAR on the screen here.
If this is given, I have to say that I will attest. It is my belief that PGMOL or VAR, if this is given, are corrupt, and that there needs to be an investigation into it. That's my genuine belief.
I think it's pure incompetence by the referee, and they double down on the referee's decision to support him in a 50-50. And the other part of this, Jan, is I don't even think it's 50-50. Yep, they confirm it. The worst part of this is Leeds haven't earned this in the second half at all. It wasn't like we've been getting lucky. This was given to them. Completely just...
It's here. It's down. It's after a deflection. What do you want?
Sorry, it hit me here.
Okay.
You know?
All right. And while that might be true, Everton have done nothing all game. But if you don't win a ticket to the lottery, you don't deserve. Now, the fact is, that is not a penalty.
Yeah, this is a handout. An absolute handout to them.
I mean, it is deserved if you live in fantasy land, where a shot deflected from a player with his arm down and it hits here, which you see in the VAR, dude. You might need to get your eyes tested.
And Pickford couldn't get there. Oh, this is so frustrating. So, because if you say deserved a penalty, if you're saying deserved because Everton haven't been as good as Leeds over the duration of the match, and that's a way to describe it with a penalty, okay, but that is not a penalty. It's I don't know.
It's not blue goggles, because if you actually watch me regularly, you'd know that literally I got described by on the Tuesday morning phone-in as really considered and insightful, and with an Everton fan, as we often are, with perspective. So I really don't think it's not. Look, his hand's already here. He's moving his body to go to chest it. There's no movement. There's no movement to move his hand. And when you move your body, your arm moves with it. Watch. It's moving. It's moving.
He's tucked it behind his back. He's leaning in with his chest, and he just misses it.
My body in front of it. Like, I don't know what you want. I'm sorry I exist as a complete human being with limbs. Oops.
Because he clearly, it looked very obvious to me he was trying to chest it. His hand was behind his back. And because it was a deflection off the ankle of Dewsbury-Hall, it had a funny spin.
Tanaka does what Salah is fantastic at just then, at 85 minutes, 30 seconds of feeling contact or behind him and throwing his heels out backwards to literally like sort of collapse on as if you're doing a spin with like a gymnastics.
Basically
spin.
shields it and then falls on the ball and wins it. So Barry is on for
immediately gets a free kick. Yeah. Because this is what happens. My dad talked about it for years. The naivety and the lack of intelligence from referees when they see that a home team is 1-0 up, so a player gets fouled. So of course he's got fouled because it's the losing team who are playing dirty because because that's the kind of mentality that they think. Because they're
once you're ahead,
coloured by the
I mean, white colored glasses doesn't really have the same sound to it as blue or rose or whatever, but no. But this will be interesting so now we have two strikers on at the same time. I imagine it'll be a lot more conventional 4-4-2 now. Dewsbury-Hall probably dropping a bit deeper.
If Chris Kavanagh knew what we knew about Chris Kavanagh, he might be a bit fairer. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, I will say it seems like we got penalties last year. It didn't seem as egregious as previous seasons. But take that away. Every penalty should be decided in isolation. And Jack Grealish got bundled by two players there. Aronson, not Grealish over. It was pretty obvious. He hasn't really had a tremendous impact on this, has he?
I mean,
he's been kind of just out on the left. But, well done. He shielded and won a free kick when no one else gives him.
Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall's had more of an impact in the second half.
Absolutely. I think he's been our best player in the second half. He looks like he's going to be taking the free kick that was won by Grealish. It's going to be on Everton's left about 25 yards out. Basically on the edge of the box. Went short to Michael Keane. Nope. Jack Grealish with a little strike. It's bouncing. Barry. Nope. Can't get it. Enjoy getting the second ball there. Looking for has the option for Ghana Gay, who lobs back post. Beto's up for it. Doesn't do enough. And then Taki tries to win it, but I think knocked it out of bounds or knocked it over the touchline for a goal kick.
By the way, yes, sorry, Graham, they did score a penalty. I believe people in the comments have pointed that out, so we were just here in misery, allowing everybody to share the miserable news. He did score the penalty. Pickford couldn't quite get to it. Was it low and left or to?
Low to Pickford's left.
Yeah,
I'll actually update the ticker with it. I'll add that on.
Oh, I mean, non pot qua se fa. I mean, look, I'm satisfied with the performance in the second half. If only it would have been like that in the first half, considering the situation, the team situation, and the team and the squad. I'm not happy with having lost the game, and I'm not happy with the nature of the loss. It's shit, and it stinks of favoritism or colouring, and it's just it's a piss poor decision, especially when you can have such almost what you consider subjective officiating, that when there's an egregious, clear and obvious error, and they're introducing these raft of rules about 8 seconds for a goal kick, and then it becomes a corner, which is a fundamental shift in the nature of the possession of the football and the state of play and the phases of play. It's a turnover of possession, right? So what you're then doing, if you can intervene on that level and arbitrate that you're going to change the rules and decide, why can you not interfere when there's a clear change in, that they lost possession, it went over the line, or the thing, it's appalling. And it just shows you the monetization and the commercialization of football to be some sort of highlight reel or vault for literally filler for adverts. It's depressing, mate.
Well, they're Americanizing a sport that is uniquely different from that, to have continuous gameplay for 50 minutes without being bombarded with the next drug betting whatever. The only thing is you have it on the shirts. That's the only unique different. Another strike, but
shot there
blocked
from
from
Stash
Grealish
from about 20 yards out, and Pickford dive sort of slightly to his left and just parried it
the
away.
saving grace here, we have 7 minutes plus of added time. We're at 90 minutes and 30 seconds now. A quite a venomous strike there, actually, from, I keep forgetting his name. Stack. And that throw-in was kind of bemusing. Didn't go to anyone, and it's back to the keeper. So it's going to be a throw-in. Goal kick.
While that might be true, that's what I'm saying, but things are not entirely black and white, one or the other. Just as I'm sure there's more to you than being a scouser in a wheelchair. Everton might deserve nothing out of the game, but they certainly don't deserve to lose in that fashion as a result of an unfairly awarded, such a questionably awarded penalty at the very least. The fact that we're discussing it and that it's not a clear-cut foul that you can say, okay, yeah, fine, we screwed up there, and it's clearly a foul.
Well, I would tweak Scouts from the Wheelchair's response to saying we have absolutely not deserved to win, but we haven't done enough defensively. That's okay. We have been poor, but we have not been so poor, and Leeds have not done enough to justify 1-0.
For instance, if they'd constantly put us under the cosh and it would have been an XG, and you might go even with a dodgily awarded penalty, you might go, Christ, we deserve to lose there, and it might not have been the nature, but you go, thank God it was just that penalty.
Yeah, well, honestly, in the first half of that penalty came on, you'd say that kind of makes sense by the flow of the game. It didn't feel that way here. But we'll talk about, I'm sure you'll hear more about that penalty conversation post-match, but we'll go back to the game for now. Jack Harrison has it to Gudmundsson on the left. There's an overload coming now with Tanaka cutting in, taking on Njai. A very good sliding tackle from Idrissa Gana Gay. Goes to Njai, back to O'Brien. Goes for the clear there, but Tanaka does an excellent diving block. I was almost worried they would somehow come up with a handball call against Gay there. I was like, didn't hit his hand.
And while that might be true, as is often the case, sorry, I've just seen another comment. While that might be the case, it's difficult to play, or it's more difficult relatively to play promoted teams at the start of the season before they've been battered, before the gaps and the cracks are shown.
Yeah.
But
I think it was a couple of years back, Liverpool drew away to Fulham, for example, or something to that effect. And that's the thing. The best time of the year to play a relegated squad is a promoted squad. The worst time is right now. You know what? Sunderland beat West Ham 3-0. Same way.
Yeah. Here's Bournemouth beat us multiple times. I mean, let's not. I just have
to
pay homage to Kieran McNulty's comment here. Has anyone ever heard of found poetry? Because this is it's such a wonderful encapsulation of Everton. As usual, the biggest equation we're left pondering is the ratio of incompetence to corruption with the refereeing. I mean, the fact that you even have to ask this question, this should be beyond reproach. They're there to officiate a game where there's millions of pounds at stake in every result, and it's just.
And I think that's the spot where I'm at. I want to be an optimist to say it's incompetence versus corruption. otherwise,
But the fact is, if there's even an argument of either of those things, it's a failing on the system that allows such self-governance for it to be done, and with no accountability and personal or professional accountability. Because what do? It's the Peter principle. They get promoted to the top, and then they just get shuffled around or down or back up. And yeah.
So it's 94 minutes and 40 seconds. James Garner has it out wide to Jack Grealish now, who's got a one-on-one opportunity with Aronson. He comes in going for the cross, but was what do you call it? Yeah, it was like a shot cross, not effective.
Volley, or just
yeah.
Christ.
Njai has it. Oh no! They're just giving the ball away. The referee is just ruining. Okay, I think they were calling a head injury, maybe? No. They're saying that Beto fouled somebody. Oh, that is so poor. Basically, Beto was running, tried to stop, and that they said basically he charged the player who just basically there wasn't a lot of contact there. It was terrible. Like there was a little bit of contact, but it's a contact sport.
Absolutely. I'm sorry, I'm going to get in trouble for it, but there we go. My finger slipped. It slipped again. If absolutely, I'd be asking for genuinely, right? I'm sorry if you want to talk about it like this kind of thing's baked into my DNA. It's a very different conversation. No, I would have said if that wouldn't have been given, I'd have been going, that's frustrating because you go big teams get that, and of course we wouldn't get it against us. But you'd understand why, because there's no intent to do that, and it wasn't like a hand out action away from the body or a hand to ball. None of the stipulating criteria that make it a penalty. So if I was asking for it and someone told me I was deluded, I'd go, you know what, you're right.
Yeah, you say okay and let it go. It'd be one of those. You want it, of course you do, but I think that would be one of those that you'd kind of go, all right, that's fine. You want them, all of them. And right there is another example. No contact, and they're doing a replay of it where he's holding his shin. Michael Keane did not touch the player, and he's rolling around on the floor.
And the thing is, the commentators
no contact,
don't
and now
comment,
they've dragged out the game, and aren't they clever?
They're not commentators. They're audio descriptors. They don't criticize you're right. And they don't criticize or comment on that there. They just repeat what the referee's just done. Oh, that's what the referee's awarded. No critique of it. No bollocks. Spineless. Sorry.
And now this, even right here, they're going to be able to shield the result here, or shield this for the win. There was no contact on the player. The lineman was right there, and he didn't overrule the ref. It's just, and now the Leeds players are demanding the clock being, or basically blowing the final whistle.
Oh, do they all get yellow cards for that?
No, they should actually.
that
yep, there it is.
That is exactly the point.
And
so is this.
It's official.
And these two things for me, Chris, they encapsulate it. Yeah, absolutely. Embarrassing. The first half, certainly. I had a bit of hope at the start of the second half. Me too. And Leeds deserved it based on the balance of what they put in. But the very fact that it was by the nature of that penalty that was so questionable.
Well,
and
it's one thing, and I know this will sound sad from us, but I think it's worth going here. The emotions that when we lost consistently to the likes of Southampton last season, where you're like, these guys aren't good enough, and they keep getting results against us. We're at St. Mary's twice and lost them both times. One in the League Cup, and then that one scenario where Beto nearly scored, but it hit the post, or there was an offside, and then they got a last-ditch winner. Those games feel awful, but at least the other team scored. So but this in a way gives Everton the we can rest our laurels on they shouldn't have won.
I refuse. Sorry,
so it feels
I don't
different.
Want to be rude to you, Chris. No, the thing is, I'm aware that you want a win from this, but being realistic about it, we have a shortage of fullbacks where we had players playing out of position that aren't naturally there to, and suited to that. We have not fully integrated some of our acquisitions that are pivotal to the nature of how we're going to play. You have to argue what's going on with the whole, at the moment, Beto, Tieno, Barry. Maybe it's about getting them all up to speed together and integrating them into the team, because I don't see Beto being the viable number one forward if we bought that Tieno, Barry and we're making bids for others. So the question becomes, at what point is it going to be suitable to see these integrations into the team? Because that was not, we already saw an hour before kickoff. That was we knew we were going to have shortages. And then to see even more that were possibly doubtful about players that weren't ready to even be on the bench. So it's look, I'm going to talk about the mitigating factors of why we started off on the losing, on a back foot anyway, because it doesn't detract from the poor performance. But the fact that we could respond in some way in the second half shows that Moyes lit a rocket, that he's responsive, and that he did make some of the right substitutions, that we consistently changed the nature of our play from the first half to the second half, but it was still not good enough. That's that. It was not good enough.
No, it wasn't good enough. But yeah, if you're comparing to me, even referencing the Southampton piece, what I was also trying to get at is a match like this, the result was we felt cheated, but we also didn't deserve to win. And at the same time, because our players aren't in the right positions, we know we have a squad depth challenge. We're getting some of these players in, one of which was Dewsbury-Hall, and he did a lot better in the second half. And Jack Grealish, unfortunately, we didn't see a whole lot of him. He looked annoyed, but partly I don't think he got himself into the game. A lot of the play was actually down Everton's right-hand side at the end with Elland and Jai, which is, I guess, maybe long-term promising. Maybe we see Njai on the right because he had that ability to link up with O'Brien, and we see that more often. And now we have a more balanced squad for next time. Maybe it's Njai on the right, Grealish on the left.
Maybe it's Njai in the middle, and maybe, look, I was hopeful. I had optimism for Charlie Alcaraz, but the truth is, if we're bringing in Grealish, if we're making an offer for Tyler Dibbling, and if we've got Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall, and you want to see a caliber of player that's going to play that type of football, I don't see Charlie Alcaraz being the number one choice to start. Certainly not in a number 10 responsibility. When you do not have, look, as you said, could DCL work? Well, I think we spoke, whether it was on the channel here or before. Could DCL work at Leeds with the kind of football that they are capable of playing to utilise his physicality and then to get the headers in and set pieces? Yes, but we don't even have his calibre proven by Beto. Yes, he scored 4 in 3 or all these kind of things, but you need someone who's going to dictate the pace more. And the fact is, if when we were trying to play it down the middle to mitigate the fact that we didn't have recognised fullbacks, and they had players like Nonto and Bogle and off the top of my head, I don't know. It eludes me. But the fact is that who are we gonna? What's it gonna lead to if we're gonna play down the middle? And then possibly spread it out to the sides. Well, then what?
Yeah. So what we also, and Scouts in the wheelchair bringing up Jack is in the 10. What you notice that too. Once Jack came on, we actually went more of a 4-4-2 or a 4-3-2-1. So we didn't actually, so basically 3 central midfielders, 2 wide players, kind of almost wide forwards, and a striker. So we didn't have that number 10 set up when Grealish came on, which was kind of strange to me.
No, it felt like that number 10. It felt like that area of the pitch was entirely vacant, and it was only through sustained pressure or continued passing that drew players into that area of the pitch that we managed to get some action in the between 30 to 18 yards out in the centre of the pitch, and it was just. I don't know. I didn't see very much from there that would suggest, oh, we're going to move into the channels. We're going to do this. We're going to draw a player. We're going to try and draw a defender or cross the ball in or bring it back to the post. No, it was just nothing.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just trying to help get these guys set up for the next show, I think.
Are we doing a phone in?
No, I wouldn't do that.
Oh God! Are we doing a post match, or are we a separate show? Or
Yeah, that's what we're trying to do. I'm trying to see if I can transition out. All right, so I might have to go set these guys up if you wanted to talk and respond to comments. But I think we should get the post match done separately before we kind of merge the topics a little bit. So why don't we do this, guys? We'll go on for a couple more minutes. Jan will respond to comments, and I'll help get the rest of the team set up for the next show.
Yeah, okie dokie. Is Ryan coming on here or?
No, it'll be the other one, I think. So I'll be in the background here, and I can jump back on. But for the moment, why don't you react to some comments, and I'll get the other show set up.
Absolutely. Okay, get your comments in. Oh, he's just left me on my own. Fantastic. Get your comments in, and I will. Oh no, that's fine.
I'll have no eye contact.
Oh, wow. Okay. Get your comments in. I'll try and discuss them and try not to lose mine, while at the same time not being toxically positive and also making sure I don't give Peter a heart attack. Because, dude, with all the love in the world, man, please chill, please, because I don't want to be like everything. Quite rightly is pissing you off, and it is going to piss all of us off. But so Cosmic Wanderer is saying, Everton part the bus similar to what Arsenal do against any good team, but with worse players. In the first half, yes, but I don't know. Were you looking at the second half? It wasn't a parking the bus, and we weren't happy with that. It was just a toothless attack that didn't really seem to. There was no venom. It was like, oh, we kind of know that we need to score, but we don't quite know how to go about doing it. In my mind, I don't know how you feel about that, Chris. Yeah.
Sorry, what were you saying? I'm
no, don't worry. All
right,
don't worry. Tom, yeah, that's the story of being a Blue, isn't it? Gavin seems quite rightly to be talking about when you have one pivotal centre midfielder that can dictate the play in the same way that Arteta was, or that some players can have that ability to just choose a position on the pitch and just decide, okay, we go from here. We wanted that from James Rodriguez. Who in the team's going to do that? I don't know if you can hear me, Chris, or anyone out there, who do you reckon is going to step up? Are we expecting that from Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall, Jack Grealish? Obviously, he wasn't on the pitch today, and my phone is going crazy, Chris. Thank you. But yeah, I mean, Lee said that that's a statement to the board before. Technically, if our team is better than Leeds on paper and we couldn't score, but at what point do we claim on paper when the results maybe speak differently? And that's what's the fatigue, the frustration is you rack your head going, what's going on? Again, formation. Because for me, we saw Idrissa Gana Gay slipping back in, which makes the back four a back five. So why not have three at the back, don't slip in, have wing backs, and then slip in if you need to, so that you've got more midfield presence? I don't know, but yeah, we're all kind of talking about the same thing. So SH, yeah.
All right. I've got the next show set up for them to go live in 10, but I may need to help them with access.
Flash seems to think it was pure out coaching by Fark. Maybe Moyes has been. What is that? Anyone thinking that Moyes has been found out because he did? I don't know.
Yeah. So what I think we might do, just to make sure we can split up the shows for later. Why don't we?
That might be true.
About 30 seconds more, and we'll switch out. Yeah.
Yeah.
And move everything over.
By the way, that may be true. The trouble is to already know to do that, to the fact that the referee didn't, and even as a result of this, didn't book the Leeds player for the cynical yellow 20-25.
It should have been a yellow to both players. One because it
should have been a yellow to both players, and the protesting.
Charlie, you're not allowed to do that. Shut up. Don't pressure the ref. Right? Look, two different things.
It's like someone punching someone in the face, and then someone responding with like, "Oi! Fucking get it," you know what I mean? And then not doing nothing about the punch in the face. Reactionary abuse. Oh no, we'll only worry about that.
Yeah. Pause in it, Dan.
But then again, what is it that you criticise Moyes for over that? The team selection? Because
Yeah, I think it was once
That's
we
true.
built ourselves in the second half and got into the game a little more, we were not toothless, but we did not take advantage of the fact we started to dominate possession a bit.
It-
We actually got 56% possession. We were starting to hold the ball on their side, and we didn't do enough with it. That was my view. But I
Right.
think we need
Here's the
to
point.
stop. I think we need to
We-
stop this show again so the next one can get going.
Yeah, exactly. Because all these points that people are going to talk about, I was just going to say, are we the the reflections on this? Please do go over and watch the other show. Who's going to be on that? David, Ryan, you?
I think if I need to be, I can, but I don't think it'll be me. I think it's David. I think it's Ryan, and maybe Chad or Corey. Maybe I think it's Corey.
Awesome. Okay, well, guys, do get over there because these are all valid points. Absolutely, same channel. Follow Everton, and it'll be the other live.
I'll probably
video
be in the
that's going
comments
there now.
under Aussie Chris as well, so I'll be joining you guys in the chat. Anyway, talking a bit, guys.
Thank you so much for the watch along, and it's now time for me to have some dinner.
Yep, thanks, Ian. Right, bye.
Go to